Hey there, I'm Steph Morrison from HSLDA Canada, and I am here to talk a little bit about homeschooling success stories. There's so much you can do when you have a home educated life, and I am here with Luke Smallbone. So, welcome, Luke.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. I love that you said that I'm here to talk about homeschool success stories. I hope after this interview, yeah, I think he's still successful, or maybe you'll go, I don't know about this guy. I'm not sure, but no, thanks for taking the time to chat with me. It's super fun.
No problem. My pleasure. So, you are one of the small bones from For King and Country. So,
Yeah.
especially if you like listening to Christian music, contemporary music, you've probably heard For King and Country. So, this is one of the great performers from that band, from that musical group. Just trying to get the right word there, from that musical group. And but there is so much more to Luke than just what he does on stage or with music. So one of the things we're actually going to talk about is your homeschooling life. So
Yeah.
when did you first start performing? Was it in your childhood?
Yeah, so my story is this. I was originally born in Australia. I'll give you some context. Originally born in Australia. My dad was a concert promoter in Australia, and on one particular tour that he brought back to Australia, the tour didn't go very well, and we lost everything that we had. We lost the house, the car, the life savings. And at that time, all of my other siblings were actually private Christian school educated. And when we came to America, he got a job offer. We all came to America. My mom was just very unsure of kind of a new culture, and just we could, and she didn't have a piece about going to public school, and so she had some friends who were like, hey, well, the homeschooling is pretty big here. They could do that, and so we started homeschooling. And so at the same time, our older sister is also an artist. Her name's Rebecca St. James, and she started touring. And my mom was really convinced, and dad, that, hey, we don't want to split up the family. And so we started touring at the same time. So at like 9 years old, I ran Spotlight. I think at 14, 15, I was the head lighting director. Later on, I started doing background vocals
Skills.
and started playing drums a lot more. And so I had a very unique upbringing, in the sense of I did all the things that adults did at a very, very young age, and there is
Mhm.
pressure attached to that, but you get life skills. And one of the great things that I'm very proud of my mom taking the risk on was it wasn't as cool back then to homeschool, and yet she still had this kind of feeling that this is what she was meant to do, and so it's led to a lot of the things that I do today, actually.
Great. So you would definitely say that, yeah, your lifestyle then was, if you went to school, you probably, well, I don't know, maybe you'd be where you are at this point. But yeah, having
Well,
that
no, I don't think
flexibility with home
I,
education.
I don't think I would, to be honest, because the thing about being an artist in music is everybody just thinks it's just music. I mean, music is
Mhm.
probably 25 or 30% of what I do, and people are like, well, how is that possible? But this is not music today, and I've probably done in the last year, I've probably done 600 of these, so it's people, it's learning how to interact. And so when I was very, very young, ironically enough, I'll never forget being in the sixth grade, and I was at church, and they had this sixth grade group that I was pretty close to. And I didn't, and this might not be a great thing or not, but it's still a true story. I had some friends, and I grew up with all of these friends, but I enjoyed talking to the adults more because I found their conversation, I found what they did, I found the
Mhm.
life that they were living far more stimulating than what the kids were going through. And my theory on kids these days, especially education, as we raise our kids are going to get plenty of time with kids for the most part. They don't get enough
Yeah.
time with adults. They're not forced to run. Their level is not, they're not forced to rise to another level. They just think
Mhm.
they need to be as cool as the coolest kid if you're just with kids. And my theory is like, I don't care about the coolest kid. I want you to be you. I want you to be
Mhm.
excellent. I want you to be confident. I want you to be all those types of things. And I think that homeschooling for me gave me that ability. And I don't think I would be here because I wouldn't have been able to be on the road
Mhm.
if I hadn't been homeschooled.
Yeah. And I think some of those, as you said about that excellence, it's that pursuing excellence, and excellence in education, but not just excellence in that that formal part or the more intellectual side of education or learning, but as you shared about the kind of different stuff you do just in those life skills kind of things, being able to speak with adults, the social thing, I think is such a big thing where you don't get that as much with in schools and that age segregation, right? Not a great social situation actually. So I think that's one of the things that equips our kids to really have that social confidence, I guess, even as they get older and be able to do more things that are more about them, really about what God has created them to do. And how do you discover that? By being more yourself, just as you said there. So you've got kids, a couple
Yeah,
kids.
four
What
kids,
do you have for
four. Yeah,
children? Four.
yeah. I got an 11, I got a 9, I got a 7, I got a 3-year-old.
Oh, awesome. And so they are all homeschooled.
They are. Yeah, yeah. We homeschool. Yeah, we kind of do some unique things where our oldest is dyslexic, and so we've had to navigate some of that. So we've gone and gotten some kind of a la carte help, if that makes sense. And they all do
Mm-hmm.
go a couple days a week, a few days a week to kind of the equivalent of what people would say is a co-op, but they do most of their work there, and obviously they're bringing back different things here and there. But yes, we are their educators. At the end of the day, one of the things I love even
Mm-hmm.
about the model that we have, which is a little bit interesting, is the buck stops with me. The buck stops with my
Yep.
wife, and so we get to speak into how and what they're learning and how they're doing. And I want to raise my kids. I don't want somebody else raising my kids. I want to raise them. Because
Mm-hmm.
I love them, and that's part of
Yeah.
what we've stumbled upon that I think has been really awesome.
Yeah, one of those big confidence builders we like to share with parents is that you know your kids the most, even if you feel like you don't, especially if they've had them in a public education system and spent hours and hours away from them, so much part, so many days of their life, such a big part of their life. It gets you don't actually really know your kids as well. So I love having my boys around. I homeschool too myself, and they're almost one's almost out of the house, I guess out of my raising. But the fact that I've spent this last 17 years and he's pretty much been around me. I let him go out and
Yeah.
about every once in a while away from me, but it's really important for us as the parents to guide that guide their lives, and that's really important in the education. I always say, like, education is an extension of parenting. You can really parent much easier if you're guiding that education, much like you said about uh, that you get to make the decisions, you and your wife, about
Yeah,
what they're doing
absolutely.
and what they're learning. And there's so many different platforms to do that on. So you kind of talked about one, but yeah, the homeschooling as opposed to when you were homeschooled. And that's a really neat comparison because there wasn't as much out there. So yeah, for your mom to do that, it was a lot more of um, a lot more to take on because there was not this wide range of education options that parents can take for their kids. It's not all about we have to do the teaching as parents. It's we get to choose how they get educated, what they get educated with, and that's kind of an awesome
Yeah,
part of raising
I,
kids.
I remember my mom going through the catalogs and doing all the different things back in the day. And, obviously she would go to the
I
umbrella
can
program that we're
imagine.
under. And it was like, how many books do they
Yeah.
have to read? How much math? And then she's going to the book, the catalogs and trying to figure it all out. We have that very different today where there's an awful lot online that we do, which is just amazing.
Mhm.
And then they teach things from, one of the things about education is teaching them from different angles. And one of the
Yeah.
things I love is, like, I've got my education in the way that I do things, but there's many other ways to do things. And so sometimes, for me, I'll be teaching them one way, and then they'll go online and, hey, they said it this way, and this makes a lot more sense to me. Well, I want to do it that way, and that's what's so brilliant about today. It's not all so involved that you feel the pressure of the weight of the world on it. Because I do sometimes feel that. I'm sure you do as well. You want to make sure you're not screwing up your kids,
Mhm.
but you're usually not. Put it that way.
Yep. Yeah, usually not, and we can always learn from our mistakes. Yeah,
That's right.
we're not made quite perfect. Um, one of the pretty exciting things, I think, well, apart from your family, I think maybe these one of one of the biggest exciting things is you have a Fathom concert going on, and you have actually
Yeah.
done this before, right? But this one is on uh, a Drummer Boy Christmas Live. So this is, it looks like, I have not seen the performance yet. I haven't seen it in cinemas, but it is it's available across Canada. I actually mainly just found it Ontario and to the west. I'm not sure if there's availability out in the Atlantic provinces, but that's where I found it most. But so this is a Drummer Boy Christmas Live. And so great music in it, great message, of course, about Jesus, and that important part of Christmas. But one of the things I thought, and you talked to that a little bit, and so I wonder, it is a mesmerizing, even just when I watch the trailers, quite a mesmerizing experience just to watch what you've done there. So did you help out with that? I don't know. I don't know the word to put it, but I mean, just the choreography of the music, of the stage design, of the all what's happening there. I mean, you're singing, but what
Yeah,
else
yeah,
did
no,
you
like,
do in that?
yeah, I mean, we're a part of the whole thing. We so over the course of King and Country's career, we've done two films, and this would kind of be the third. We did a movie called Priceless back in 2016. We did a film called Unsung Hero earlier this year. And one of the things that we've struggled with the Christmas tour is the Christmas tour is the biggest things that we do. But there's only, the Christmas season is only so big. And so we can usually do about 12, 13, 14 shows a year. But we're like, man, how could we give the Christmas show to everyone all at once? And so we actually brought the crew from Unsung Hero and brought them to the Christmas show and said, let's film it and let's make it, let's make it cinematic. Let's make it to where the quality will be as good as anything that anyone's ever seen in a theater, And so we did that last year at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And yeah, the heartbeat has always been, how can we get this to everyone all at once? And then as far as, my role, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's right. I said it earlier, music, we're only 25-30% of what I do is spent music. The rest of it is designing shows,
Mm.
set lists, interviews, label meetings, booking. I mean, it's all crazy what the things go. So I was one of the producers for this concert film, and yeah, the hope is to be able to bring this Christmas season to everyone, to make some Christmas memories. One of the things that I've loved is making Christmas memories all together. And one of the coolest things about this concert is actually that my son, his name is Phoenix, he's 9. He plays the character of the little drummer boy. So if somebody's out there going,
Oh,
well, how is he actually able to do that? Well, he's homeschooled. And so he's coming with
uh,
me and my wife up to New York. He'll be doing national television, I think, on Sunday, which is hilarious. And then we go to London. He's got a couple of shows over there with us. And he's also in this concert film as well. And then part of the reason why he's there is because he's really good. He's excellent because when he comes
mm-hmm.
home, he goes and plays his drums, and he's doing something that not many other 9-year-olds could do, and he's doing it extremely well. So that's another kind of cool part of the concert experience.
That is pretty amazing. So so I encourage you to go and look at the trailer because you are going to be amazed just at the trailer. And when I saw that trailer, so I saw and I'm like, is that a boy or is that? I
Yep.
mean, he's got the hat on and the hair is there and but I was pretty sure it was somebody a little bit younger. That's awesome, and that actually really just shows that variety of what we can give our kids for one thing. Like, look at this opportunity for him to be part of that. I'm sure that took a bit of his time just
Yeah,
to be part
yeah,
of
it
that,
did.
not to mention his drumming
Yeah, it did. And
practice.
he started doing this when he was 5. So you got to
Mm,
remember, it's a pretty extraordinary thing. So if you go look at the Little Drummer Boy music video by Fakir Country, that's my son, and he's 5 years old. And now he's always been a little bit more. He's been, he's pretty mature for his age, and he's a little
mm,
taller than what you would think. But yeah, at that time he was 5. To do all the things that you see in that music video as a 5-year-old, I'll never forget kind of having conversations with my brother Joel, and I was like, hey, he's going to be able to do this fine, right? I'm like, I mean, I think so, but we're asking him to do a lot of crazy jump. And sure enough,
uh-huh.
he was excellent. A lot of that, I think, has to do. I think a lot of that has to do with kind of what's happening at home. He feels the freedom to dream big dreams, and he's got the time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice nice home education message right there. Dream big, dream the little stuff, and just be able to do what's really in your interest, in your skills that you've been given. And our kids get to know that a lot more when they can just have that customized education, which is quite amazing in many different situations. And of course, we're sharing a story here with Luke that is about getting into performance and real creative artistic things. But there's lots of great great reasons that may not take you as far in worldwide performances, but that just gives you the freedom to be able to have that lifestyle that you want. I think that's one of the big things that any homeschooler can say. It's like, it's not just an education, it's a lifestyle, and we're just putting the education as parents into that lifestyle. So so I want to ask you one last question for those of us.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to mention that, so you can go to the link. It's going across the bottom of your screen. Go to fathomevents.com. For me, for King and Country, the Drummer Boy Christmas Live, it came up right on the homepage there, like right away. But you may need to search if it doesn't come up on the homepage, because I think it's geared to where I am and what show might be close to me. So it showed me a show in Alberta. I'm actually in Saskatchewan, and I did see that I've got them in Regina and Saskatoon. There's Edmonton. Anyway, BC, Ontario, it's Manitoba. There's the big city centers will have this playing. And I saw dates up until December 16th, depending on the theater. So you can go check that out at fathomevents.com and see where this cinematic movie is playing near you. And if we can't make it to the theater performance, what can we do you have any insight to share how we can see it? Like, do you know of plans of it streaming somewhere, like on a
It
platform
should
or
be coming
DVD?
out. Yeah. I hate to say that I don't know it for a fact up there in Canada, but yes, home entertainment should should take place just a few days after the 16th as well. Obviously, it's not going to be in with the big screen. Obviously, it'll sound the same way. But I believe this Christmas, no matter where you are, you should be able to experience this event at home with your family. At your place.
Oh, great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Luke, and sharing your story. And excited to see this movie you have, this A Drummer Boy's Christmas Live. I'm excited to show my boys it, actually, and that's even more awesome. How old was your son again? You said he's 9. That's what he was in the
He's 9.
in the video.
Yeah, 9. Well, it was 8 then. He's 9 now. So yeah, he's
8
pretty.
then. Okay.
He was young, but it's all. He's been doing good.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Luke.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Steph. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.